So I'm Barb Flowers. Good morning. It's sure good to see such a great turnout. It is my pleasure to work with this team this week on the in the 5S of the Ortho Supplies in the Pasqua Hospital core area here. And it's been a really exciting and tiring week. Our sponsors, Trent Truscott. Our process owners are Susan Macnack and Donna Marin. So the pre-5S situation, well, there was probably a lot of things, but basically what the team wanted to work on was one, a lack of storage space. When you walk in, you can really see that. So the problem was that the team wanted to find some efficiencies to improve the storage and help with finding items, and that would also help with training. Communication. The team wanted to increase the communication in the team that worked towards ordering of supplies and delivery of those supplies. And also some items are placed on case carts that are used for surgeries. They're some placed in SPD, sterile processing, or it could be in the OR, and the team wanted to find some efficiencies there as well. So now I'm going to show you a team picture. So as you can see here, we have Tyler, and Tyler is from, he's an OR aide. And next we have Brenda. She's an OR nurse, works a lot in the ortho area. We have Angie. She comes to us from materials management. And Maureen from sterile processing department. And we had Kevin Krepakavich as our surgery business manager ad hoc when he could join us. I'd like to congratulate these guys on a job well done. They should be really proud of themselves. Thank you for all your hard work. So our 5S target, on entering the OR, you could see that a lot of work had been done. The aisles were organized, the shelves were organized. So we knew that some things had been done, and that's very evident in a score of 2.7 for a pre-5S evaluation score. And when we looked at it, we had decided as a team to work on the ortho shelving, and the space for the team was 378 cubic feet.
So this is our shelves before the 5S. They're very overcrowded. Lots of the bins have multiple items in them. They weren't laid out very properly, so there's a lot of bending down for everybody who had to get these supplies. There's a picture there of Brenda just showing how she always has to bend down, and multiple times in a day, everybody who comes across this shelf here. So we wanted to make it more accessible, tidy it up, and make some more shelf space. So we were able to move some things around, put the more used items in a more accessible spot, and we divided up some of made them into more bins, more supplies and more bins, easy accessible, easier to see. And now we've ordered more shelves, and we're planning on doing some more organizing and get some more supplies on there. Now, this is one of our shelves for instruments and drills and other orthopedic supplies, and this is before. And as of now, it looks like there's a lot of space, but usually this is in the mid-morning, so a lot of the instruments had been used for the day, and we're not supposed to have green wrap toppled on top of each other like they are on the top shelf there. So we wanted to clean up this shelf and make more space. So we were able to make some more space, and we were able to put some more ortho drapes and stuff along with the ortho instruments. We added a couple shelves. We've made a bit more space, and we're just waiting on more shelves now. And then in places where we'd move things, we left notes and whatnot for communication, so everybody was aware of the changes that had been made. This is the area right by where we get all of our case carts from the elevator. We have 2 carts there and a whole bunch of papers and stuff. Some of those papers have been up there since 2007, never looked at. Nobody knew which cart was for what, for incoming supplies, outgoing supplies, instruments. So we wanted to organize this up. So we put up signage. We took down the papers we didn't need, to organize some other papers, and we added a whiteboard, so now we have notes, and if instruments are coming or going to from repair or other parts of the district. Yeah, and I think, and this was a big part, was the communication. It's hard to get us all together on the same page sometimes. Everyone's busy. So this is just a picture showing of how when we got all together, we were able to identify issues and quickly solve them. And this is down in SPD. We found a whole bunch of trays where they'd been down there for years, never used, outdated, vintage. There was a whole cart there with Maureen we were able to get rid of all those trays to send to Third World, and we added some other trays together to create some more shelf space in OR and SPD. And then there's just some pictures of Harry discovering all these old instruments, and he didn't even know what some of them were. They were so old. So, and there's just some more. Yeah. So yeah. Thank you.
We developed a couple of standard work procedures. One of them was, well, both of them are to improve our communication with SPD department. The first one is about us calling for different equipment from SPD. Now, when we call, we tell them what room we need it in. They will put a laminated card with it, with that number on it. It's sent up in the elevator, and the ORA brings it to the room and puts the card back on the elevator to go back to SPD. That is the first one. And the second one is about a class 1 surgery when it is booked and how we get our case card. So the unit clerk is informed about the class 1, and she gets a pick ticket on the computer and sends it to the printer in SPD, then phones SPD so that they receive the pick ticket. SPD will pick that case cart and send it up in the elevator, and they will call the OR so we know that it's there.
Good morning. I'm just going to re-mention about Tyler and his shelving and that. There are some more that are going to be delivered in a couple of weeks. But also, so we don't get jammed up again with a lot of the supplies, we are going to be directly ordering our stuff from SPD instead of two people OR ordering and SPD. It'll be ordered directly from one area, and then it won't get grouped up all the time. Also, the ordering of cement is currently ordered by both areas, and we're going to relocate that into one department. We haven't decided where it's going to end up, upstairs or downstairs, but we will have just one area for that. To also help with the communication with SPD and the OR, there's multiple calls that go because of the lack of communication now. What we want to do is put a computer into the core, which will be joined up with our tracking system that we presently have now in SPD. It's called the Impress, and that will also be for OR aides, their nursing staff, their coordinators, that they'll be able to track their trays, whether they're going from one site to another, or if they're double booked, we'll be able to track that and say, oh, we can't do this. It'll be more of a communication between both parties. There also will be a change of pick tickets that have been done, and that reflects to do with the trays that we've grouped up. We were able to make one tray out of virtually grouping 4 trays up. There again, when it comes down to assembly, the turnaround time for this is a lot more effective for our department, and the OR is going to return. In the return, they're going to get their product back a lot faster too. Thank you.
So where we're at so far with the progress report, so we had a 60% change in the evaluation. We went from a 2.7 to a 4.5, and we reduced about 90 cubic feet of space temporarily, because all that did was to help make room to spread out some of the instruments and supplies so that they're not piled up on each other or in front and behind of each other. And 80 items were returned to SPD, 15 trays of supplies, and I didn't get a count on that, but next time I will. 15 trays of supplies sent to Third World, and we had a lot of fun that day. and 0 items outdated, and we're just waiting on the cost of those things.
Well, to summarize all we've done with this project, we learned many lessons this week. First of all, we have learned how valuable it is to have good communication with the staff in the OR and processing. When you have good communication, you will have better productivity, less mistakes, and less frustration, which will make for a happier environment. We also learned the roles of everyone involved in the OR, starting with the nurses, the processing staff, the service aides, the unit clerk, distribution staff, and even housekeeping. Everyone needs to work together and understand the importance of each other for the OR to run smoothly. We also learned that just by reorganizing and relocating items and supplies where they can be visibly seen makes things better for all the staff, and we also gain some space. Color coding the items in the areas is another visible tool which we were able to accomplish in the area we worked on. We also realized that the OR has little space to spare, so they need to make the most of the space they have. This is why organization is so important. The OR has other areas to work on, but it can only be tackled one area at a time because it's so busy there and they need their coordinators from the other areas that need to be involved. I have some thank yous. We want to take a moment to thank all the people who helped with our 5S team, made this project enjoyable and successful. First of all, a big thank you to the OR staff for their cooperation and patience while we worked around the core and disrupted their daily routine. A special thank you to Harry, the ortho coordinator, for taking time out of his day to discuss some decisions, which in the end eliminated some space. Another special thank you to Maureen and the processing staff, especially Ruth, their supervisor, for their cooperation in initiating the changes that took place this week. Oh, we also want to thank Scott from the maintenance department. He put up our whiteboard and his participation with other things. Another thank you to medical media for laminating some signs for us by the elevator and in the ortho area. And our team just wants to take a moment to thank Barb, our team leader, because without her leadership, none of this would have been possible. Thank you.